What follows are the musings of a guy who decided he wasn't going to make a big deal out of the next video. Anyway. Hi, I'm Rob. It's garage time. Right now, we are looking at the back of the differential in the Jag Special because we're doing a thing that I have come to call taking care of bits and bobs. I'm sure that Robert from Surrey would approve. But what I'm doing now is, if you can see right here, this is the back cover of the differential, and right there is where the vehicle speed sensor would go. This center section is from a Jaguar XJS coupe that I got off eBay. So that I would have a positive traction or limited slip differential in the good old Jag Special, so that both rear wheels would be providing the accelerative force rather than just one wheel, as was the case in the original differential, which is hidden down under there in its rusty and disheveled shape. The deal with this is, though, that since this differential came out of the whatever donor it came out of in the boneyard, it doesn't have the speed sensor in it, so I have to make a plate to cover that up. That's one of the bits and bobs that I've got to take care of to finish this thing out. Ordinarily, that might be part of what you would call the last 10%, and as everybody knows, the last 10% takes 90% of the time. So I'm going to do it now, while this thing is still at its 40% stage. So yeah, let's take some measurements and then let's do a sketch. .5 by so says the chipmunk. Oh. Why didn't I do this when it was out of the car, you say? 'Cause why would I do that? 2.175 long by 1.5 wide. And then let's figure out what those screws are. What we're going to do here is we've got 3 different bolts, a 1/4 28, a 1/4 20, and a 6mm by, I believe this is 1.25, maybe 1.5. We'll try each of these in that hole and see which one works. Ooh, the 1/4 20 does not work. But the 6mm does. Oh no, 6mm by 1 is extra fine, 6mm by 1.25 is fine, 6mm by 1.5 is coarse. So this is, given that Jaguar likes to use fine threads and everything, I'm going to say that this is 6mm by 1.25 threads. Good. Now let's see how far apart those holes are. Then we take this and it goes in that hole and then under the screw. There's our distance. That will be our center distance. We take this and we transfer it to the dial calipers, and we result in I want to say it's 1.5 inches. And we have a plate like so. That is 2.175 this direction, and 1.5 in this direction, and we're gonna cut it to match the outline of the boss area. Excuse me. And then we have 2 holes like so that are 2x clear 1/4. Oh no, what am I doing? 6 millimeter. A hole that would be that would clear a 1/4 20 or a 1/4 28 will also clear a 6 millimeter. 2x clearance for 2x clear. We go, and then this distance, like so, is 1.5. So let's go cut some aluminum, shall we? I have a lovely piece of 1/4 inch thick 6061 that is going to work just right for that block off plate. So that, put it in here, like so. I'm going to leave it poking up a little bit. Whoops. So I'm going to take the soft jaws out and do this. And then we can go 2.175 over there in the notebook. 2.175 right there. Come on. Like so. That's our first cut. Boom. And then 1.5 for our second cut. And then we want to do 750.75 because that will be the center line of this piece. Right? Yes, it will. Yeah, there's the center line. One and two. There's that. There's our piece with all our marks. There's that. Okay. By virtue of my calibrated eyeball, I've been able to determine that the angled cuts go to 4/10 of an inch deep and are cut at 25 degrees. So let's make some of that action happen right here, right now. It's off to belt sander land. So here's the thing that happens a little bit sometimes, not too often, just often enough. You'll see here I have the 2 center punch marks that I was going to drill on the original line that I drew. That's 3/4 of an inch, 0.75 from this edge. And when I went and I fitted up into the differential, I noticed that this line here was not aligned with the centers of the 2 screw holes. So I had to measure again, and what I came up with was this line and these marks. This line is 0.75. This line is 0.656 from this edge. And when I line it up, it pretty much lines up perfectly with the hole. Certainly enough that there'll be a little bit of clearance here between the edge that it butts up against and allowing room for the hole, allowing room for the screws to go through the hole. So now it's time to drill some holes and then do an actual test fit. And hopefully I'll only have to make this part once. Looks good. Let's go get a couple of screws and do a test fit. Oh, look at that, will you? Pretty perfect. Okay, the speed sensor block-off plate is complete, and I can still get a half-inch square in there to undo the fill port. And all I got to do now is make a gasket to put underneath there, and then put this back on with the gasket, and we're good. Permatex high-tack gasket sealant. We're just gonna glue the gasket onto there. Yay! Hey, Chip. Go. There's that. There's that. I pronounce the rear differential sealed. Nice. Well, I would like to say that Bits and Bobs #1 is complete. There we have it. It's all sealed up. All I got to do is put some fluid into it, and then I call this job done. So once again, I would like to thank you all for watching, and please do like and subscribe. See you around the channel.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, my daddy, he raised stock cars a long, long time ago at New England's fastest quarter mile, doing on Westboro Road. He and Mom would rally around in their MGTD, but they bought a Porsche 356 to hear my mom and me. I was raised by gearheads, this apple fell not far from under Daddy's tillage, messing around with cars.